Hey guys, CreamCrazy here, welcoming you to my Elimination Chamber 2014, I don't want to get that wrong again, predictions video. Now, after the shambles that was the Royal Rumble, we want something that's awesome, right? Well, I know a lot of you are not in the most enthusiastic of moods, despite a great Cesaro vs Cena match on this past week's Raw, and the fact of the matter is, a lot of you probably should be excited, because the Elimination Chamber, even though it is one of those pay-per-views where you don't really expect a lot to happen, a lot could happen out of this show, and we can all be happy for it. Now, let's get on to the kickoff match and show, or the pre-show match, or whatever it's called. I think it's called the kickoff now, with Cody Rhodes and Goldust facing off against Rybaxel. Yeah, there's only two ways this can go. Firstly, it's going to be a loss for the Rhodes brothers to instigate the breakup, leading to the inevitable WrestleMania match, which I am looking forward to immensely. Or we can have Cody and Goldust win to show unity, only to have a match against, say, the New Age Outlaws, or a match against the Usos, or whoever it is, to cause their split inevitably. Now, I don't know what that's going to be, I don't know what WWE have in plan, because obviously we don't know at all what they have in plan, because could go to shit quite easily. Fact of the matter is, I'm going to go for a Rybaxel win just to instigate the breakup on the 24th of February edition of Raw, when we get to see it all go down. I mean, it's a massive show, you've got massive loads of people attending, you want it to be a headline show, why not have the breakup of one of your most over tag teams? Just saying, it fits the bill. Especially when you look at the tag team title match on the show. The Usos versus the New Age Outlaws for the tag team titles. Think about it. If the Usos end up winning the belts, they're going to be the #1 face team. So, is it going to be time for them to win here? Or do they have to win at WrestleMania? Now, that's what a lot of people are saying. The Usos have to win at Mania. There's no way they can do this now, because it doesn't make sense. Having the New Age Outlaws, though, people say doesn't make sense. To me, the Usos have been long denied a title shot. Every single time they get a match and they get the chance to go for the titles, they never ever seem to get the chance. Why? Well, WWE seems to forget, and they try to make us forget, until the fact that JBL points out they have got a title match. Fact of the matter is, New Age Outlaws, to me, probably should have won the titles at this pay-per-view, allowing for the breakup of the Rhodes brothers to be more sudden. However, WWE saw it in their mind to give these old dogs a chance at trying to prove they're still worth it, and on air they are still. Honestly though, the Usos, while in my opinion they deserve to win, I just don't think this is going to be their night, personally. I just don't see them winning, even though they've got momentum on their side. And the fact of the matter is, they've beaten them in matches on Raw and SmackDown. So, honestly, to me, the momentum is saying to myself that the tag team champions are going to retain. And I wouldn't mind seeing a big tag team style match at WrestleMania for the belts. But then again, I don't know what they're going to do. So honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if the Usos did win, but it would not surprise me either if the New Age Outlaws came walking out with the belts. Next, Titus O'Neil versus Darren Young. Now, I wish I could care more for this. I want to see this match, and I'm actually kind of happy for it. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, this has not been done well. You know, the primetime players did not win the tag belts. I am so pissed. I mean, it's the same thing with Rhodes Scholars. You know, I really wanted them to win the belts. So when they broke up, it actually made sense, and it actually made you feel a bit sad they were breaking up, and also take your sides if whoever was necessary. You know, because they didn't win the belts, it just means, what's the point of this team breaking up? It's the same inevitable thing that's going to happen to the Real Americans. However, again, they're a great team, but of course they did not win the tag belts, and it makes no sense. These two are good in-ring talents, but Darren Young, I'm sorry, pal. Titus O'Neil has a massive in-ring career ahead of him. His promo that he cut on Renee Young on Raw was fun as hell, because he was so cocky, so up his own ass. And, well, the how do you spell champion? No, you don't spell it like that. It's Titus. I mean, that was a good gimmick to highlight how egotistical the guy is after losing for so long, to continuously try to prove how much of a winner he is. I mean, honestly, it would be surprising if and I'm saying a massive if here, Titus ends up losing, it would highlight the even more egotistical side to prove that it was just a blip. Then he continuously goes through a losing streak to finally then build up a massive win streak along the way. I mean, WWE would love to do that with a new heel, wouldn't they? Make them a little bit of a chicken shit, but still a little bit of cockiness to boot. However, that would be something that I would not want to see them do. Titus O'Neil is a guy with a lot of potential, a lot of strength, and I would like to see WWE do something with him. Because honestly, as you can tell by looking at guys like Damien Sandow, whose pushes have gone nowhere, you want to see a person like Titus O'Neil take the ball and run with it. Hopefully WWE gives him the opportunity to do so. Titus O'Neil, in my opinion, will win against Darren Young. It just makes pivotal sense. You don't just turn the guy heel to basically lose to the face the next time round. Effectively, it didn't happen with Shad Gaspard when Crime Time broke up. It won't happen in the same way as well. It'll just be a heel win, easy, plain, and simple. And then we have Big E Langston versus, or Big E I should say. Ooh, I'm going against everything that WWE stands for. Why not by pronouncing the name properly? Screw you, I'll do what I want. Doesn't really matter. Big E taking on Jack Swagger. Now, this could be, and probably will be, a great match. Trust me, I'm not even fussed. I'm actually looking forward to this one quite a bit. Why? Quite simple. These guys are both reasonably sized, between 250 and 280 pounds. They are fast, they have a wide arsenal of moves, they have a good sense of aggression, and they have national backgrounds to them, athletic backgrounds, amateur backgrounds to them. And we're sure one of them was in powerlifting and football, the other one was in wrestling. The fact of the matter is, you combine both those together, you could get something interesting. Overall, people saying it's the IC title doesn't mean too much and Big E hasn't defended enough. Then again, okay, that is a massive truth point, but then again, what am I to care? I just want to see a good match at the end of the day, and I'm hoping that this will be it, because honestly, I've got a lot of ideas of what Big E will do in the build to WrestleMania. I'm guessing the Mark Henry-Big E match will eventually happen, knowing how things could go, and honestly, it just will be interesting to see how it goes. Swagger, unfortunately, you're gonna lose. You're going to get pissed off with Zeb, you're probably going to break off, you're probably, in my opinion, going to cost Cesaro the match at Elimination Chamber. You're going to cost him the main chamber match, and that's going to lead to a WrestleMania match. It, to me, makes valid sense to do so. However, again, like I've said before, knowing WWE, are they going to pull something like that off? Probably not. Which is quite disturbing on my front, because I'm trying to predict the best WrestleMania card I can. So at the moment, based on the matches that are happening at this pay-per-view, I have Goldust versus Cody Rhodes. Sounds cool. The Usos defending the tag titles in some kind of tag team turmoil or tag team ladder match style thing. I don't know what Titus O'Neil's going to do, and I have an idea to have Cesaro versus Swagger. So that sounds pretty freaking good to me. That does to you guys as well. Let's hope. Then we have Batista versus Alberto Del Rio in the most predictable match of them all. Honestly, Batista isn't going to lose here. Now, okay, his character has been acting like an absolute dick, and that is fantastic to see, because WWE is doing some nice teasing, trying to say to us, you know what, we could turn this guy heel. But we want to hold out, you know. Batista is a badass, Batista is a bully, and he acts like it. So, I want to say to the WWE right now, you're doing a good job holding off the suspense enough to say, oh, he's a better heel, he needs to turn heel, he's not acting like a babyface. Giving that suspense that we kind of know what's coming, but you can then throw a swerve at it. And that's what's beautiful. We know it's coming, but you're just waiting for that time to make us kind of lose interest in it, and then boom! In comes the heel turn. It would just feel so wonderful. Del Rio, I'm a little bit sorry for the fact he's getting put in this match just to get squashed by the looks of it, but you know what? Knowing Del Rio, he could probably make something good out of this. You know, he could easily find one of Batista's shoulders, one of his arms, one of his... Actually, technically, the fact that Batista's had a few injuries on his arm before should create some interesting psychology here. And I'm looking forward to seeing if that's targeted, remember what Randy Orton and the Legacy did to Batista's arm after he won the WWE title in, I believe it was 2009. The fact of the matter is, if they play on that previous injury and highlight his weakness and his frailty at such an old age for a guy like Del Rio to hunt him down, it would make much more sense. I mean, it would make the match more interesting and it wouldn't feel like a squash, which is inevitably what people think it's going to be, and that's unfortunate, because if it's a squash, what's it going to prove? That Del Rio's just being fed to a guy who doesn't even make many appearances? Come on, WWE, if you're going to do this right, in my opinion, if you're going to do it right, give Del Rio something to fight for. I mean, he's being pushed around by the guy. In fact, the fact of the matter is, based on how wrestling narrative dictates, Del Rio would win the match because he's being pushed around, bullied, and that would therefore make Batista look weak, then would mean he has to build up going into WrestleMania to win the title. That may be how they're doing it. I have no idea if that's the way WWE are thinking. However, if it turns out to be that way, I wouldn't be too surprised either. So you know what? I'm still gonna give Batista the win. I'm just hoping it is not as fast. It is not as squash as it really sounds to be. If it turns out to be a squash, I will put my hands up and say, okay, you got me. You made me overanalyze it to shit, and you made me look at this guy and say, okay, you got me what we wanted. We don't like Del Rio, we got him squished. Fine, but we don't like Batista either, so is it a win-win situation? Not really, I don't think so. Now, we get to, well, the two matches everyone else is going to want to see, and you know what, I actually look forward to a card most times, but with these two matches at the top of the card, it looks stunning. The Wyatt family versus The Shield. Oh man, this is awesome. Why? Because the crowd give a fuck. Do I need to say more? The crowd give a fuck, we give a fuck. Everyone gives a fuck. They want to see this match. Sure, this feels like a WrestleMania caliber match, but we know why that isn't the case. We know that one of these teams, The Shield, are going to break up in the build-up to WrestleMania, and I'm fine by that. The fact of the matter is, the Wyatt family, they can afford a loss, but if they're going to lose, try and make it look as cheap as possible. Try and make it as cheap as possible. The only way I can really see this happening, if I was going to have the Shield win, is John Cena do exactly what the Wyatt family did to screw him out of the WWE World Championship. Have Cena come in, fuck things up, and the Shield then win, making them believe they have some unity. And then say Dean Ambrose goes into a US title match on 24th of Raw, ends up losing, blames it on his rest of his team, Roman Reigns spears the ever-living crap out of him, and we get the match that we want for Mania. I mean, that to me makes a bit more sense if you want to give the Shield some false hope of victory to enable the playoff that to happen. But everything just dictates. Everything dictates that the Wyatt family is going to win this, because it's an inevitability. Win or lose for the Shield, they are going to be gone. And that's just how it's going to be. The Wyatt family, in terms of strength and power, could easily probably outmuscle Reigns. We wouldn't outmuscle Reigns. They'd outmuscle Rollins and Ambrose reasonably well. And they'd have to rely on Reigns. I can easily see how the story's going with this. Reigns does a shit ton of the work in the match, and Ambrose maybe is the one to get a cheap win, possibly. Or maybe he tries to think, you know what, I can take all the victory after you've just pulled all the work through. And you think, what? How could you possibly do that? And, well, you know how that's going to go. Distractions lead to wins for the Wyatt family, and so forth and so forth and so forth. I'm looking forward to see how this will tell a good story. You know, I'm just thinking to myself, how are each of these teams going to play off their strengths as characters and showcase why we give a crap about them in the first place? Most of what Bray Wyatt has done with his Wyatt family since arriving on the scene has been pretty much gold. And in the last 2 or 3 pay-per-views, match-wise, they've also been gold too. Both sets, I mean, the Shield, and for the most part, have been gold for the entirety of their careers in terms of matches on WWE's main roster. So you know what? On paper, this is going to be a fantastic match that will hopefully steal the show, and I cannot wait to see the double teams, the triple teams, the insanity brawling to the outside. I cannot wait to see all of that go on and be awesome in its own regard. So you know what? I'm gonna pull on a limb here and say the Wyatt family for the win, even though the Shield winning would not surprise me in the slightest. So yeah, hopefully that's a good thing. Hopefully it will be. And finally, we get to the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match. Randall Keith Orton taking on... I'm taking a page out of Sleg Daddy's book here. I don't give a fuck. John Felix, Anthony Cena, and of course, the rest. Do I even need to say who they are? Christian, Daniel Bryan, Antonio Cesaro, Cesaro, and Sheamus. Now, this looks pretty fucking star-studded, doesn't it? I mean, we've got some of the biggest stars of now, some of the biggest stars of the future in Cesaro and Bryan, technically, and we have an old dog in Christian trying to find for one last shot at redemption and greatness. That tells a good story in itself. And the thing is, Randy Orton looking weak in the build-up to this makes it pretty damn clear that he's going to walk out as the victor. Simple as. Wrestling narrative dictates. If a face looks really good going into a pay-per-view, the heel is going to win. The same happens vice versa. If you don't believe me, go watch a lot of John Cena's matches. If he looks like crap going into the pay-per-view, it is likely he's going to win. Sure, some may say, well, Dolph Ziggler didn't look very good when he had to go against Del Rio. Del Rio had to face Langston repeatedly, then he beat Ziggler. Well, there was a storyline to tell there, makes a difference. Fact of the matter is, Randy Orton is a favourite to win, and honestly, if you think he's not going to win, you're a little bit deluded. I'm just saying, everything points to an Orton victory. If you think, Daniel Bryan's going to win the title, it seems like he's going to get screwed. And it seems like he's going to get fucked over, and I am fine with that. I do not care if if he walks out as champ and then has to defend against Orton and Batista, I am fine with that, because then I still get a massive WrestleMania moment, and also we get to see Bryan overcome two big stars and come out as champion. Come out the same way that Eddie Guerrero had to fight through Kurt Angle after winning the title to prove his spot. You know, that's the thing. You don't have to win the title at Mania to solidify yourself. You could technically be champion, go in and do it. I mean, John Cena did it against Triple H and Shawn Michaels 2 years running to firmly solidify his spot. And that's the important thing. Bryan could win this match, go into WrestleMania and be fucking awesome for it. I mean, sure, he could also lose, creating more storylines going into WrestleMania, creating the Triple H stuff, you know, all the stuff we know. Christian, to me, feels more of a weak link than Cesaro does. You know, before this, when this match was announced and Cesaro was in it, I thought, it shows they might be pushing Cesaro, but I'm really unsure they're really going to put much faith in the character, and he'll be the proverbial guy who gets chucked out first. Honestly, after what happened in the last couple of weeks, he's beaten Randy Orton, he nearly beat John Cena. It makes me think to myself, this guy has potential, and WWE are realizing it now. And it's good to see. I mean, honestly, to see Cesaro last ages in here, I mean, imagine a giant swing on the steel, or into one of the chamber pods, or even, I'd say, even a giant flying uppercut from someone jumping off the damn cell. I mean, hell, imagine the fact that you've got Daniel Bryan going for a headbutt off the top, and then Cesaro whacks him in the head with an uppercut. How big of a spot's that going to be? A neutralizer from one of the top of the chamber pods, maybe. I don't know. There's all kinds of things you can do with this guy. And he'll be a great spot monkey for this damn thing, and people will go insane. How long is he probably going to last? I would say maybe he's the third out of the 5 eliminated. He lasts a decent chunk of the way through, gets the third elimination spot. Simple. And he won't be entering in first. You can pretty much guarantee it. Christian, I can see possibly being the workhorse that makes it through to a certain point. Maybe he's not the first eliminated, possibly, to maybe piss off the fans. I have no idea. The fact of the matter is, Christian won't last too long, but if he lasts a while, I'll be pleasantly surprised. Trust me. Sheamus, I'm not sure. I'm not even sure what they're going to do with Sheamus at Mania. You know, I don't know if they're going to put him in a match with Brock Lesnar, if they're going to have a match with Mark Henry, if they're going to have a match with Ryback or Big Show. What are they going to do with Sheamus? I don't know. The rumours of the heel turn, I'm guessing maybe it's going to happen. I don't really know. I mean, Sheamus is going to last a while here. He's recently come back from an injury. They want to keep him looking strong. It seems logical to say that he's going to go in there and whoop some ass, kick some brogues, whack some heads off, call 1-800-fella, and inquire some more. Honestly, I'm fine with that. I just don't think he's going to win it. He's just returned. This Rumble return was a little bit flat at places, but he's done well since he came back. Has he got a chance? Possibly. Possibly indeed, but not as big as, say, a John Cena. Now, Cena I can see entering in the first two. Because we've seen in recent months, dare I say a year, where Cena has actually made guys look ridiculously good in this match. Think about the possibility of a Cesaro or a Bryan pinning Cena here. That could make them. Not just that, think about it. John Cena is in this match and isn't even factoring in. We are literally thinking it's Bryan, it's Orton, it could be Cesaro out of left field, but it's not John Cena. Now WWE could throw us a curveball and say, ha, you guys, well, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I had to cough there because they were hiding some information under their breath. That we couldn't do it. We had to put Cena in the main event of WrestleMania 30 against a guy like Batista. Now, honestly, would you guys be happy with that? No. And you see, that's the thing. John Cena is there to give this match humongous star power. But of course, Cena, he is not going to win this. It just doesn't point in his favour. If he interferes and costs the Wyatt family against the Shield, which could be a possibility, we could see Cena being screwed by the Wyatts. We could see Cena possibly being screwed by someone else entirely. I mean, I already mentioned that Cesaro could be screwed by Swagger in this, you know. I mean, there's all kinds of things. But John Cena, even though he is a favourite to win because he's John Cena, is not a logical explanation. I would love to see Cesaro pin Cena as revenge for the fact he nearly did it this past week. If he couldn't do it in a one-on-one contest, he will have to do it in the chamber when he gets his chance. How much of a big victory would that be for him? Fact of the matter is, to me, while John Cena is a favourite, he just doesn't have everything correlating for a victory. And that, to me, is all well and good. Because that means, of course, ladies and gentlemen, Randy Orton is the only one left that has a clear path. Now, he could be the first eliminated, which would be a shocker in itself, leading to 3-match clause scenario. He could also be the one of the last two, and he then has to think, okay, can I do this by myself, or do I have to call for help and ask for my good friend Triple H to help me out of the situation? He may have doubted me, but I need the help when I need it most. And you know what? I want it, I'm going to get it. And if he gets it, that means we have a Daniel Bryan Triple H set up, and boom. Everything is set in motion quite nicely. But then again, Randy Orton isn't as safe as I think he is. But then again, I'm thinking, outside of the title picture, what the hell is he going to do at WrestleMania? And thinking about it, the title picture is honestly where he needs to be at this WrestleMania. You know, a decade ago, they built Randy Orton up as the new face, the WWE Champion, the World Heavyweight Champion, at the age of 24 years old, youngest in history. They wanted him to be big. They realized they jumped the gun too soon. And then, of course, they put him through some big WrestleMania matches and main events, and he won them, surprisingly, minus a couple. The fact of the matter is, Randy Orton hasn't really had that main event spot where he's come in looking $1 million. Now, sure, in 2008, he was WWE Champion going in against Triple H and John Cena, and he looked $1 million. However, he has grown significantly as a massive star since that time. 2009 was a massive year for him in which he became the biggest heel in the company. And now, over time, he's reverted back from a face into a heel and has become something magnanimous. There we go. Fact of the matter is, Randy Orton, to me, needs to go to this WrestleMania and feel huge. I mean, he was in against the Shield last year. He was against Kane the year before. Okay, he was against CM Punk in 2011, but that was the last big match he was in. That was 2 years ago. He needs a massive match. And you know what? This is the time to give it to him. You know, Randy Orton has worked his ass off. He's going to get this match. And it just makes sense. Batista and Randy Orton have a score to settle. I get it. I personally am not that fussed. I'm just a bit worried I'm going to be sitting in my seat in the Superdome watching the crowd boo the crap out of it, which is why the idea of having Daniel Bryan win the match makes so much sense, because then you get the triple threat. Because how are you going to insert Daniel Bryan outside of a board of directors interference or something else? I don't know, and I don't know what they're going to do with it. You know, Randy Orton winning makes more sense than anything else here, because in storyline terms, he's come in the weakest person, he's come in the underdog, and he's going to have to come out on top, which is the massive struggle, and it comes across well. I mean, it feels, in a way, similar to how Triple H inevitably won in 2005. Now, sure, he had a member of Evolution with him, but of course we didn't think they would team, and of course Triple H lasted through to the end, and effectively he won by the cheapest way possible, but we didn't expect it. We thought this was too big a challenge for Triple H, but he came out through it anyway. And it made him stronger as a champion. And people kept saying in the last couple of weeks that him losing to everyone but Christian effectively made his title reign look weak. Sometimes a champion has to lose, because then when they win on the big stage, when the title's on the line, when it matters, it makes them look a lot better for it. And Randy Orton's one of those characters who needs to be hit down a peg before they can rise up and hit things properly. That's what they should have done with Daniel Bryan a few months ago, but I'm not going to go into that either. Honestly, guys, this match is going to be very entertaining. There's a lot of opportunities for some big spots in there. There's big name talent with some big name moves to hit. And there's a plethora of opportunities for stories to be told in the lead up to WrestleMania. I mean, we're on the road and we haven't really set anything in stone yet. So yeah, I want to know what's going on. You know, I want to know what WrestleMania has in store for me, knowing I'm going there in, just over a month's time, you know. So overall, I'm going to say Randy Orton for the win. It seems obvious, but there is so much saying Daniel Bryan could do it that I am a little bit in doubt. But I'm going to stick with my gut feeling. I'm going to go for Randy Orton. It just makes valid sense. If it's a one-on-one with Batista, I don't care. I haven't seen the match in years. Do I care? No. Guys, I'm not being one of those people who just supports WWE blindly. You know, I have a reason. You know, I don't mind about seeing a match if I haven't seen it for a while. But knowing Batista's health, I'm a little bit concerned. So in a way, if they're going to make it a triple threat, if they're going to find a way to insert Bryan in, or they're going to go for something different entirely, then I will not be surprised how they're going to do it. I just want to know. You know, I have no idea what they're going to do. So this match is important. Randy Orton's going to get the win, but if he faces Batista, if he faces anyone else, if anyone else gets added, I don't know what's going to happen. And we're going to find out over the course of Sunday and Monday what is going to happen. We're going to see what WWE has in store for us. And whether it's going to be something awesome, something meh, it's okay, and then something meh, or something average, or something really, really, really bad. I have no idea. And that's what's making it fantastic. Like I said at the Royal Rumble, there's so many opportunities for unpredictability in this match, in this event, I should say, that I can go in looking rather positively at it. People wouldn't, and they'd say, well, WWE have fucked us over too many times. I can't go in looking very good at it. Well, I always go optimistically into a pay-per-view, and you know what? Sometimes that really will help. And guys, that is it. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope that you will tune into the pay-per-view feeling as enthusiastic as I am. And of course, if you want to, please click the subscribe button down there to hear any more of my content, and get the review up on Monday, ready for everything to go crazy. Now also, guys, I want to point this out before, if you've watched this far, fantastic for you, shows that you kind of like what I'm saying, and I thank you immensely for watching. I will say this, though. You remember CCVGP, my video game playthrough channel? I have closed it, unfortunately. Why? Well, there's a reason for it, but I'm not going to explain it now. That is due time. All I know is I didn't want to run a second YouTube channel. I found it counterproductive. However, what am I going to do with it? Well, let's find out. Because honestly, this is going to be an interesting period going forward. You know, I've got my WrestleMania coverage coming up, which you must check out. If you want to subscribe to my channel, keep up with everything. 5 straight days of WrestleMania videos from the 4th of April all the way through to the 7th of April. You do not want to miss it. And you know what, guys? I don't know how many videos I'm going to be doing between now and that WrestleMania weekend. I do not know. But honestly, if you want to see some bloody in-depth WrestleMania coverage from New Orleans, covering all the bases, all the main shows, highlighting as many opinions as I can possibly fathom, and having a special Q&A lumped in for good measure, if you want to see that, subscribe below and get everything. Because it's all you're going to do. All you need to do is click subscribe and you will get those vids. That's all I'm going to say. And I am looking forward to this. Because after this pay-per-view, ladies and gentlemen, after this pay-per-view, there is just WrestleMania. There is just WrestleMania. I can taste it. And you know what? It could be the air freshener in the car on the road to WrestleMania that's making me taste the damn thing. But honestly, I just cannot wait any longer. Bring on New Orleans. Bring on the Superdome. This pay-per-view has potential to be good. And you know what, after the Rumble's fiascos, I'm hoping it will be. But I just want WrestleMania to come so I can enjoy the ever-loving crap out of it. I have been Cream Crazy. You've been people listening. I am ready to say bye. And this is an Elimination Chamber predictions video. And you know what, guys? I hope you have a fantastic weekend. I hope you enjoyed the pay-per-view. Because this could be interesting. Let's hope the road to WrestleMania has no more bumps in it and they've smoothed out the bloody tarmac and that car can just go forward. Because you know what's important? That we get the WrestleMania that we damn well deserve and it can be kick-started in the right way. Cheers, guys.